is the worst type of conflict, and I'll tell you why. Because when you have rational-minded conflict in warfare, and then you have a conventional military logic fighting against a spiritual fanaticist doctrine of warfare, it is completely unbalanced. You know, I've asked this question many times to people dealing with terrorism. He says, how do you fight against people who want to die? This is very harsh for people to listen, but unfortunately, this is the reality of this kind of conflict. Now, what will happen, we'll see this, and this is very scary for people, because when the pressure comes on in this bottleneck of this conflict here, there's going to have to be a conflict to extrapolate from there and require legitimacy through the media for terrorist action. So what happens, you will see attacks around the world, you will see attacks in public spaces to draw legitimacy. Why? Because non-state actors have to draw legitimacy for their actions because their actions are illegal, because only the state can justify the use of force on protection of the state. So this comes down to statecraft, and the danger is that the big power players are influencing in this as well, and we all know who they are.
We have some more moments to discuss this. The very developments we're seeing now, that there's the fierce fighting in Gaza now as more civilians are set to leave through the Hamas opening that leads to Egypt.
Yes.
How do you see this development? Will they let people leave?
We all know historically that large migrations of people by force can be described and used as an act of war. If Egypt gets drawn into a war, and they've said they will defend themselves, whoever attacks them. If you look at Ismail Haniyeh, the shadowy spokesman for Hamas, he said, it's not Hamas's job to protect Gazan citizens, that's the job of the international community. He's calling for more attacks on people to put more pressure on Israel. That doesn't sound like the logic of a rationally minded state actor who has to find solutions. As your last guest said, we need to keep working to find solutions to bring about a peace. But do people really want peace? That's the key question. Meanwhile, the people suffer while the leaders are belligerent. And this is where statecraft, peace, and the world community has to come together. But it's very difficult. I try to put myself inside a part of a family who's lost somebody to a terrorist attack. And I've seen this, I've been traveling and teaching this all over the world. It's about creating mass casualties. How can you stop people from creating mass casualties and get into the diplomatic negotiation format, which is the rational state? If this is war is about the competition of wills. It's about an army bearing all it's called utility of force, to bring about that force onto your enemy's weakest link. The lack of a weakest link is going to be a problem for Israel. Why? Because Ayman al-Zawahiri said it, the number 2 of Al-Qaeda. He says, we are nothing. He wants a state. We are nothing but Ankut, which is a bunch of grapes that forms here, here, here. Here, you take out this bunch, another one forms here, another one forms here. In the West, in military logic, it's like a game of chess. They will come after what we call the center of gravity. Hit your enemy's center of gravity and it will capitulate. When you have no center of gravity to hit, it becomes difficult. But the Israelis are very experienced in dealing with these geopolitical issues and putting that power to bear. Do they have the numbers for a prolonged conflict? Yes. But remember, as I said in my last interview with you, it's most important that Israel has 3 strategies in conflict. Strike deep, strike hard, seek a settlement. How are they going to get a settlement when they seek complete destruction of Hamas, which is a rational, logical outcome for military strategy? But remember, tactics and strategy are 2 different things. Strategy is the organization of resources. Tactical is the movement in that moment with a plan to achieve that. This is going to go on and become very bloody. So my wish is for the international community to get together and actually realize what is actually happening and stop playing the big power games and get down to protect people on the ground.
Thank you, Mr. Whelan.
Thank you so much.
Dak Noel Whelan, illi huwa espert fil-ġlida kontra terrorizmu u anke espert militari, illi wasalna wkoll fit-tmiem programm ieħor reżumé, naturalment nirringrazzjakom dejjem.